Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Rhonda. I wanted to jump on here real quick this afternoon, and I shared this book in a video yesterday, and it's a book by Lisa Harper. It's called A Perfect Mess: Why You Don't Have to Worry About Being Good Enough for God. And I realized I was just sitting in there. I had a little extra time this afternoon, so I went ahead and did an extra chapter because I've just been doing a chapter a day in my quiet time in the morning. But since we had a half day at work, I'm ready for tomorrow for my part of the Thanksgiving feast. I decided to take a little extra time and just do an extra chapter because this book is really, really so good, and it is hitting on so many, I guess just so many points of kind of what I'm struggling with and what I'm going through right now. So I thought I would share how I'm doing something a little different in my, I guess it's called annotating in the Bible, when you kind of go in and you underline and you make little notes. So anyway, this, just to kind of give you a brief little overview of the contents. While this is actually a study on the book of Psalms, it's not the whole entire book. She has picked out, I guess, some of her favorites. And what is so crazy is this book has been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I contemplated whether or not I would study, do a more in-depth study of the book of Psalms. So I actually pulled off a little book of on the shelf that I have that's just a book of Psalms. It just wasn't the right time. But anyway, so I pulled this book down, and the Psalms that she has picked out, 1, 62, 139, 51, 42, and 83. Those are the ones that I've done so far. Every single one of them has produced a nugget for me to put in my little filing cabinet in my head to draw back from. And it has just hit me in different ways. So I thought I would just share real quick how my note process has been doing using a book instead of a commentary. Let me just show you. What I normally do, let me go to Matthew, because I think Matthew is one of my biggest ones that I have. So anyway, what I normally do is I'm very colorful. I'll pick a color theme, in which my year this is like a boho theme. So I've really tried to stay with some of the neutrals. I'll highlight the heading, and then I'll underline as a reading color, and then I'll have a highlight color, and that's the one that I make my little notes to. Let me bring you a little closer. Maybe that's helpful. And so anyway, that's what I do. And so then when I go to another chapter, I'll change the highlight colors, and it just kind of bounces back like that. There's no rhyme or reason. I just pick my colors and stay within a little color palette, so to speak. And plus the pages get crinkly, and I just love that. What I have found myself doing with using, and what I'm doing, so these notes here I have taken from sermons, I have taken from commentaries, I have taken from like little Bible studies that I'll listen to online, like little courses. So what I've done different now is I'm just using Lisa's book, and she is a hoot when she writes, you guys. She just really is a hoot. She's such a great storyteller, and I think that's why sometimes I can just really resonate with how she teaches, because she makes it so real and so relatable. And so what I've done with this is I've used the notes. She summarizes like the right now relevance of Psalm 1. She'll give us just kind of a little overview, and that's what I've kind of written down as almost like a heading going into the study of this. And she will break down a couple of the words. She may throw, just some little tips, that the things that stick with me. It's, like the Psalms are actually separated and categorized in different themes, so to speak. And Psalm 1 is actually categorized as an orphan psalm. So it really doesn't belong to any specific theme. So they call it an orphan psalm. So I'll remember things like that. Those little kind of tips are something that stick into my mind going forward in my other studying. And So while I do that, then she just will break down like a Hebrew word. And so that's what I have found that I'm doing, is using her book as my commentary, so to speak. So I've written up here her little summary for Psalm 1. She, broke down blessed can also mean happy, because some translations will say happy is the man, and hers says blessed is the man. One of the thing I actually have to look up, because I don't know this translation. She is using a translation. She uses different ones, but one in here that I don't recognize is called, oh gosh, now I can't find it. Hold on, I'll find it. It's the, oh my God, the NCV. So I need to Google that, because I'm not sure what that is. Or maybe that's a commentary volume. I don't know. But I have to look up what an NCV is. I haven't done that yet. And she also gave me the definition. You know when you're reading the psalm and you get to one and it has this word here, Salah, Salah. I think that's how you say it. That is actually the psalmist taking a deep breath and sighing, like an overwhelming, that's what that means. And she, so she broke that down. And so one of the Psalms I actually, when I got to it, I highlighted it or whatever, because I didn't realize, what it was. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing as I'm annotating through here. It's colorless, which is very different. I'm kind of liking the minimal, not having a color in there. And just the things that she has made little notes of, I have made little notes of. And so let me go to another one that I have done. So this would be Psalm 42. Oh no, Sounds of Misery. And here again was kind of like the outline summary that she gave. She gives the outline summary actually in the back of the chapter. So I always turn to the back of the chapter first and grab that. And something that she said about, I know you've heard this, as a deer pants for flowing streams. She gave a little backstory to say, have you ever considered why it's a deer pants for flowing streams? It's because at this point in time, David is just, he's just having a bad day. So anyway, the deer is the deer is in dire straits. He's panting. He's so thirsty. He didn't use a camel, which is a very popular animal back, a beast of burden back in the day, because a camel has a hump and they're very self-sufficient. They can go long periods of time without water. So they're kind of self-sufficient. Well, a deer is very vulnerable. So here, the deer is very vulnerable in the state that he's in. And so that's why he's crying out to God. He's just like at his wits' end. So she puts in little things like that. And those are the kind of things that now when I go and I'll read something, because I think Isaiah says something about a deer or something like that. It'll just make me have that memory and that recall. And, just some of the things that she says is like, walking around and being in a fake happy state, which I was doing, you guys. That's what I'm telling you. This book has really been speaking to me. This is the one from this morning. So walking around and being a fake happy makes for an ineffective witness. So if I was to sit there and continue going, oh yeah, everything's fine, everything's peachy keen, I'm just, hanging in there, keeping up with the Joneses, what kind of witness would I be to God's grace and his kindness and his compassion to me when I'm going through something hard, if I always made it feel like being a Christian is easy and it's all, happy-go-lucky. So being a fake happy makes for an ineffective witness. That will stick with me because I just am going through that now, kind of on the upside of it, but still raw to me. And then let's see the next one. This was the one I shared with you guys yesterday in that video. Create in me, a clean heart. Y'all, that's coffee. Don't get excited. I was dumping the coffee grounds and it got under. But anyway, and so yeah, there's that one. I shared that with you guys. Then I just am really liking the minimal way this looks without a lot of the color. This one was talking about God, God bless this mess, which I say all the time. It's so funny how she says things in a way that I hear myself saying stuff. Oh, here it is. Salah, Salai, or Salah. It's like a sigh, a pause, because right now, at this point, David is very upset about his son falling away. Absalom fell away and turned evil, and he was just so disappointed and so just at a parent's wit's end, and he just was pouring his heart out, and he just went, oh, just like how we do sometimes over our children. But so that was something else that she just kind of went over. And then this is the one that I just finished. This is the one that I did extra today. And I kind of knew who this Asaph person was, because in The Chosen, which you guys, I'm on like almost done watching it for the third time. I'm in the very last couple episodes. Asaph is David's worship director. So he, directed a lot of these. And then I think one was the sons of Korah, which were some Levites that were also, sons of Korah. They're Levites. So they came from the tribe of Levi. So these are just little things that she says that you think that but if someone was to ask you, so what's the Psalm of Asaph? Now I can say, oh, well, it's one of David's worship director's Psalms he wrote. He penned it. That's what they call it. They call it penning it. And this is where he is calling out to God. It's talking about anger, you guys. And I'm telling you, she's so spot on. And in this first part of the Psalm, it's like Asaph is sending out an SOS. He's hollering out to God, where are you? Don't be quiet. Look at what's happening. And then he's down here, and all of a sudden he remembers whose team he's on. He remembers he's on God's team, which means victory over all. So he starts saying, well, let's pay him back. Do to them as you did to Midian when Gideon was in charge. Do to them like you did at Caesarea, when the only female judge was Deborah, when she defeated all of them by her judgment. And it just goes on and on. So anyway, the bottom line is it's okay to express your anger. God, he says it's okay to express it, but you have to ask yourself, what is your motive? Is it to be right in that situation or to be righteous? And that was just like, halt, Rhonda. You need to think about that. Sit on that for a little bit, because that's deep. But anyway, I thought I would just jump on here real quick and show you guys how I was using this particular book as sort of a commentary and a note, taking notes from. And I haven't done that before, because I usually will just use a commentary thinking that it needs to be like a biblical backup. And Lisa, she does so much scripture backup, but I love the way she uses everyday relatable language. And so those are the things that are helping me just to kind of really hit home, in these Psalms that I'm studying. And I just wanted to share that with you guys as like maybe another resource. If you are reading another Christian book and it's from someone that you really find has a way that you can connect and relate to them. Like Jen Wilkins is another one that I think I will pull her book back off the shelf. I just read her book, You Are a Theologian, and there were so many nuggets in there, but I did not highlight. You guys have no idea how hard it is to refrain from highlighting in my books. But I want to be able to share these books and, let other people borrow them without my mess all up in there. So I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to start doing a little bit more of this. And so anyway, I thought I would share. This is the book I'm reading or doing in my quiet time, and I'm finding it to be very, very helpful. And so yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a very happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. If I don't talk to you until probably, maybe I'll do another video on Friday. We'll get a little bit further and we'll go from there. But anyway, no promises. Okay, guys, I will talk to you real soon. Bye.